Hello, Mark. I'm Mike. This is my reading for Violent Youth. Girls are turning to violent crime. Girls commit more than 1 in 4 of all juvenile crimes and are becoming increasingly involved in violence, according to a government study published yesterday. In 1957, girls accounted for only one crime in 11. This striking change was highlighted in a report into antisocial behavior in adolescents. It shows that the criminal activities of so-called girl gangs are part of a worsening trend. Over the past 10 years, the number of arrests of girls for violence has more than doubled, and juvenile crime is increasing at a faster rate among girls than boys. This is said to be almost entirely the result of the post-war period, particularly family breakdown, that is evident across the Western world. In the past, girls are effectively supervised and were less likely to be exposed to antisocial influences. Anne Handel, one of the authors of the report, said parents are less likely to supervise daughters as they once did. Young girls are spending increasing amounts of time at school. Also, where once a 13-year-old would sit in her own bedroom listening to records with a friend, now there is a trend towards girls doing the same as boys have always done, which is going around on the street in groups of 5 or more. Boys are more likely to be involved in burglary and drug offenses, but the ratio falls for criminal damage, robbery, violence, and theft. The report says that poor parental supervision is a major factor in delinquency, and the increase both in juvenile crime and the involvement of girls has coincided with high divorce rates and family breakdown. There is also a vicious circle at play, with antisocial girls more likely to become teenage mothers and to be less in a position to give their own offspring the care, and that they prevent the next generation sliding into criminality. Parents fit secret cameras to spy on their children. American parents are bugging their children's telephones, installing secret cameras in clock radios, and sending strands of hair retrieved from pillows for analysis at drug laboratories. They are resorting to Cold War espionage techniques and science to fight drug and alcohol abuse, which many turned into a way of life during their hippie days a generation ago. Baby boomers are hiring companies to bring sniffer dogs into their homes to track down traces of dope. Radio shops sell home surveillance equipment. Telephone bugs cost $20, and you can buy a chemical analysis kit on the internet for $45 if you want proof. From the hair in your daughter's comb, for example, that she is taking drugs. Aerosol sprays and special chemical-soaked cotton wipes, as simple as home pregnancy kits, are available to see if there is cannabis or other narcotic residues on car seats or other surfaces. Parental spies run the risk, if caught, of destroying the remnants of trust in their relationship with their children. But the trend is growing. Most American teenagers have telephones and televisions in their rooms, and many have computers and internet access. Parents feel that they should be able to get to their children even even sur- sur- surreptitiously because the rest of the world does. Now I'm going to read another article. Mexican teenage girls trained as drug cartel killers. Mexico City, Reuters, drove by surrounding reporters and with her head bowed to avoid the television cameras, the slender 16-year-old hesitated slightly before she answered the question. "I'm a hit woman," she said. Maria Celeste Mendoza was among 6 teenage suspected gang members arrested this week by police after a shootout with authorities in central Mexico, one of the growing ranks of young people working for the country's drug cartels. Dressed in combat fatigues and with her face hidden, the girl from the northern border state of Tamaulipas described how she had been trained to use Kal- Kal- Kalashnikov assault rifles and other weapons by the Zetas, one of Mexico's most brutal gangs. In a listless role, Mendoza said she was paid 12,000 pesos, $1,000 for 2 weeks' work, more than 3 times the national average. Although she said she was trained as a hit woman, it was unclear if she had killed anyone yet. As is customary in Mexico, she and the other suspects, 6 of whom were women aged 21 or below, were paraded in front of the media by police after their capture in San Cristobal de la Barranca, near the country's second city, Guadalajara. Guadalajara. Rising youth unemployment, easy access to drugs, and the quick cash cartels offered recruits are all blamed for fueling the delinquency that has cast a shadow over Mexico's future. Organized crime has become a job provider for a section of the population who don't have a lot of other options, said Victor Clark Alfaro, director of the Binational Center for Human Rights in Tijuana on the Mexican border with California. Since 2000, the age at which people start getting mixed up in organized crime has fallen, he added. And in the last few years, the age has dropped to about 17 or 18. Detailed figures on the role of minors in the cartels are scarce, but newspaper Reforma said the number charged with involvement in organized crime jumped to 214 last year from 8 in 2007, citing data from the Attorney General's office. The arrest of Mendoza and another 16-year-old girl with her, Isela Sandoval, is part of the trend. Sandoval also says she has been trained as a hit woman, but that she had not killed anyone yet, according to Mexican media reports. Around 40,000 people have died in escalating drug-related violence since President Felipe Calderon set in the army to try to crush the cartels at the end of 2006. Life past, die young. Although authorities have arrested a number of teenage hitmen in the past few years, it is highly unusual for women to work as killers for drug gangs, said Clark Alfaro. This may just be an isolated case, but it may mean a new pattern is emerging in the world of organized crime, he said. Last December, Mexican soldiers captured a suspected drug gang hitman, Edgar Jimenez, known as El Pontes, a 14-year-old U.S. citizen who the Army said had admitted killing several people while under the influence of drugs. The vast quantities of narcotics moving across the country toward the lucrative markets of Europe and the United States have helped to turn Mexicans onto drugs earlier than before. Kids are starting to take drugs younger and younger, said Alberto Islas, a security expert at consultancy Risk Evaluation. A decade ago, the average age was 14, now it's 10. This has the effect of lowering their perception of risks, coupled with the fact that youth unemployment is now double what it was 10 years ago. In a country whose growing population is one of the youngest in the Americas, the trends present the cartels with a rich source of cheap labor. Young folk are recruited because they are potentially more aggressive and less likely to care about the consequences than adults. They take more risks, said Clark Alfaro. He said it is often a short career with the Attorney General's office, calculating that young men who get mixed up in organized crime will, on average, be dead within 3 or 4 years. The Network for the Rights of Children in Mexico, RENDIM, an advocacy group, says some 30,000 children are believed to work for criminal gangs in Latin America's number 2 economy, where delinquency is often blamed on high dropout rates at school. But even those who remain in a classroom are far from safe from the allure of drugs, guns, and crime. A 2009 government survey of some 55,000 secondary school children in 5 Mexican cities showed more than 1 in 5 had seen classmates carrying a weapon, that 1 in 8 would sell marijuana for cash if a friend egged them on. Those who graduate toward the cartels can expect a brutal schooling from their new teachers. According to the testimony of Miguel Ortiz Miranda, member of La Familia cartel captured last year, whose interrogation later surfaced on YouTube. In graphic detail, he calmly described now how new assassins were quickly put to the test with selected victims. We made the new ones kill them and slit their throats and quartered them and all that, so that the new people would lose their fear of cutting an arm or a leg, he said. Others said end up as drug dealers, fixers, or watchmen, but those safer jobs do not always pay as well. According to Beatriz Hernandez, 21, one of the other women arrested with Mendoza, who said she earned 4,000 pesos every 2 weeks as a lookout. With Mexico struggling to clean up its justice system or create more decent jobs, some young people see gangland murders as a real career option. This is about the impunity here, Isla said. Because of it, the perception of risk attached to committing this kind of crime is very low. Murders are not solved in Mexico. Additional reporting by Mika Rosenberg, Addicting by Karen Murray. And now I'm going to answer the questions for the first article in discussion part. For question number 1, at what age do you think children should be held responsible for their actions? I think children should be held responsible for their actions at the age of 18, and that's the age of their beginning of. That's the age of the beginning of their college life. And because they're a college student, they're like a young adult. Being a young adult, I think they must have good judgments on their actions and behaviors. They must know what kind of behavior is right or wrong. So I think because they know what is right and what is wrong. So I think if one day they are if they're doing something wrong, they're supposed to get penalties or get some punishments from government. So I think at the age of 18, the children should be held responsible for their actions and their behaviors. And for question number 4, if you were a concerned parent, would you ever spy on your child, or do you think it is important to respect his or her privacy? If I were a concerned parent, I think I would spy on my child because he or she is my child. I really care about them. Care about what they're doing in their daily life, and I think because being a parent, I think it's very important to notice and pay much attention to my children's behaviors, and even spy on them. But I think it's also very important to respect them, such as their privacy. I think everyone has the right to has their right to have their privacy. They don't want to expose their privacy to others. So I think even if I am their parent, I think I don't have the right to deprive them of their privacy. Thank you.